Hey guys, here's some instructions for your Identifying Rocks and Minerals lab sheet. When you go to this assignment in today's folder in Schoology, you're going to open up your document and it'll pull up a Google slide. Make sure you put your name right here, and then you're going to fill out these 4 rows. Now, I'm going to show you a lot more than just 4 rocks and minerals, but you only need 4. Okay, so when I'm going through, you can just talk about, or you can read through them as I'm going. On this first column, you're going to put the name of the rock or mineral, and I will say it multiple times, and I will show you how to spell it as well. Now, for each rock or mineral that you do, you need to write down what color or colors it is. And then also the texture, so how it feels. Okay, and I say all of that as well. And then for the type section, if you are doing a rock, you need to tell me if it's igneous, metamorphic, or sedimentary. If it's a mineral, all you have to say is mineral. Okay, so make sure you know how to fill out each one of these and you submit this chart on Schoology as well.
All right, so the first mineral I'm going to talk about is mica. All right, this is mica right here. Now, this is what it looks like. It's very, very thin. It's almost like glass or plastic. Okay, it's very, very smooth. You can see through it. It's all the way up to my camera. Barely see anything at all. Okay, this is mica and it is a mineral. Okay, that's the first one. The next one I'm going to come around and talk about is quartz. So we've got 4 types of quartz on this foam. All right, this first one is honey quartz. This is the big yellow one. We have rose quartz, this pink one, smoky quartz, and then milky quartz. All right, so I'm going to hold up this honey quartz first and show you how it feels. It's very, very smooth. You see all these bands and colors on it. Those are just colors. You can't even feel them. Okay, you can also see a pink stripe running through the middle of it. Now, the edge of the quartz is very bumpy and rough. Okay, now how does that compare to our rose quartz? All right, look very, very carefully at it. Okay, now this quartz is much bumpier than the honey quartz. Okay, remember this one was very flat and smooth. You can see there are bumps all on this one. Okay, it's also a little bit shinier. You can see the light reflecting better off of this one. We also have our milky quartz. It's very reflective, very lustrous. Okay, it's very, very bumpy. It's had lots of bumps on it. And then our last one is the smoky quartz, and you can see all the different bumps. It's very rough. Okay, now the next thing we're going to talk about is igneous rocks. We've got a few examples of igneous rocks on this table. I'm going to walk around, show you each of them, and then I'm going to talk about 1 or 2 of them. So the first one we're going to talk about is granite. Now, what observations can you make about this piece of granite right here? Okay, now obviously it's more than one color. It's kind of bumpy. I'm trying to get my camera to focus. All right, it's very bumpy. You can see it has some reflection in it. It's somewhat reflective. Okay, so that is granite. Remember, granite is an igneous rock. We're going to come over here to a basalt rock, and this one is much larger. You can also see it has a lot more texture on it. It's much more rough. You can see there are even holes in it. Now, another thing you can notice is that one side is much darker than the other. Okay, that's because basalt is a volcanic rock. When it erupts from a volcano, it will cool down and turn into a solid rock. So that is the basalt. We're going to talk about one more igneous rock. I want to show it to you in 2 places. It is a pumice stone. All right, so you look at it. What do you notice about it? Okay, the outside is very, very smooth, but there are lots of tiny holes that make up pumice. Now, it looks just like any other rock, right? Well, let's see what happens when we try to put the pumice stone in a bucket of water. Okay, So I've got the same one right here. It's drying right now. You can see it's just the same as any other rock that we've seen. All right, now I'm going to put it in the water. All right, now if you get close enough, you can hear it as well, but it's floating, okay? You can look inside and see my hand goes completely underneath the rock without touching it. Now, when I hold the rock down underneath the water, you can see lots of bubbles start to form and come out of the igneous rock. Well, think about what bubbles are. Bubbles are just air, okay? So as that air fills the holes of the rocks, and then as it leaves, it's going to, water is going to fill in those rocks, okay? So that is a pumice stone. And the longer I hold it under the water, the more water will be absorbed and will make the rock even heavier, okay? So that is our pumice stone. That's also an igneous rock. We're gonna come over here to our sedimentary rocks next. I'm gonna walk around. All right, the first one we're gonna talk about is a sandstone. Okay, it's right here. Now, what color is this sandstone? It's kind of a light brown, orangey. Now, what can you notice about the texture of the sandstone? It's very, very bumpy and rough. You can see there's holes in it. It's not smooth at all. Let's compare it to a limestone. Limestone is also a sedimentary rock right here. Now, what's similar and different about these sedimentary rocks? Okay, you can see they both have lots of holes. Okay, but this one is much smoother, and obviously they're different colors as well. But this this limestone is much smoother than this sandstone is. What do we know is found in a lot of different sedimentary rocks? Fossils. So we're going to look at some fossils real quick and some sedimentary rocks. This one right here is a limestone, and you can see the fossil inside of it, okay? Here's some more examples. You can see the imprints in the fossils right here, okay? Some more, and finally over here, what does this look like? It just looks like a piece of wood, right? This is actually now a stone. This is what we call petrified wood. It is wood that was once a tree, and then parts of silicate, which is a mineral, replaces the wood and kind of preserves the rock for a long time. You've heard of petrified forest. It's all sorts of these. So even though this looks like a piece of wood, if I rub my finger along it, I'm not going to get a splinter because it's now a stone. Okay? So these are all of our sedimentary rocks. And now we're finally going to come over here to metamorphic rocks. We've got a few different examples. We've got marble right here. Look what is going along this piece of marble. Okay? Now marble, originally it starts out as a sedimentary rock, a limestone that we looked at over there. But when it undergoes the heat and pressure through metamorphosis, it's going to be changed in pressure, and it will change shape. That's why it has a wavy line through it, not just a flat line. So what kind of colors do you see in this piece of marble? What does the texture look like? Okay, it's not very jagged. It's pretty smooth, but it's still got some bumps on it and some cracks as well. Now let's compare it with this other piece of marble right here. Now obviously they're very different colors. This one has more of a pink red hue to it, but it also has a little bit more luster. It's more reflective of the light. Okay, and that is again marble, which is a metamorphic rock. And this chart right here shows us how we start with either an igneous or sedimentary rock, and how they change from different temperatures and pressures to different rocks.